Igbo ndị ọma njem ọnụ ọ na-abụ eburu ozu onye ọzọ ọ dịka ebu nkụ mana mgbe o meziri onye ahụ na-arụ ọghọta ihe ekwe na-akụ. Well, it's all about the Ogbogwu, the popular Ogbogwu market, biggest market, drug market in the whole of West Africa. It's not only in Nigeria. Whole West Africa, that Ogbogwu market in Onitsha, is what the focus is all about today. I told you guys that all these markets you see in Onitsha, they are very large markets that, the infrastructures in Onitsha are supposed to be equivalent to what really is happening in Onitsha. So, but sometimes you get low, the infrastructure sometimes doesn't match kind of business activities that is going on in Onitsha. And today I'm going to tell you what I know about that drug market, what effort that I have made in my own self. Yes, on Saturday is should be 31st, I'm not mistaken. Yes, Saturday. The cleanup was done. I visited Ogbogwu Market and I was unable to meet the chairman of that market. I was told that the chairman is not available. I should come next week, Tuesday. If you are in that market and if you are seeing this video, you should confirm what I've just said. Usually, it's working days that such persons. And when I try to see if I can meet next in command there, but it wasn't possible, so I had to leave. But I'm coming to that. I will tell you guys what I see in Ogbogwu Market, what really is the situation right away. But before then, that market was closed on the 9th of February and allegedly reopened 28th of May 2025, as some few days ago. And some people were saying that no, the market was not opened, and some said yes, the market has been opened. So these two people, I don't think you can blame them, because some shops are still locked. Some shops, as I'm talking to you, are still locked. So, but we are going to take some of your time to talk about what happened. Coming to that situation, the major problem there is, why is NAFDAC collecting between 500,000 to 1.3 million naira from the shop owners, more than 5,000 shops in that market? And allegedly, there may be no constitution backing. Where the problem is there any law backing these fines that they are collecting? Because there is a big question mark there. And trust this, our people, you see all these traders you see, many of them, if not 100% of them, are graduates. Case is on now. Yes, don't look at them as maybe village people that came to do business. No, these traders you see from Southeast, many of them are graduates. Main markets, Ogbefere, building materials, many are graduates. Go and verify this thing I'm telling you. It's not about maybe people just coming out to do business. No. So, but the case is still on. No, there are some legal claims. What happens to our goods? That has been, people that are legally doing their business. Some has expired goods now. What happens to them? Is there any law backing this fine that the government, that the NAFDAC is collecting? So, but what they are saying, what NAFDAC is saying is that what made them to, close down this shop is they want to eliminate unregistered people. When you talk about these unregistered people as shops owners, then expired drugs, banned drugs, counterfeit drugs, as well as illicit narcotic and controlled substances. They still go further to talk about some people did not undergo proper registration. Then I myself, I am looking at it this way. I know that it may not apply in this area, but when things involve too many people like that, when too many things are brought together, usually there is global registration. Like, take for instance, if you are talking about estates, though in a big estate, there are, in fact, in an estate, there are buildings inside that estate. These buildings, usually they have global CFO that will cover all of them. So in this case, I was looking at, is it that these shop owners will be registering one by one by line, or is there any, shouldn't there be a kind of global registration for the market that will cover them? That is what I myself is talking about concerning the registration aspect of it. So, but having said that, we are going to take these issues from where it started. This thing started on the 9th of February 2025 when these shops are being closed down. And after, I will tell you what, from my own little, observations, what NAFDAC, what they are doing wrongly and what NAFDAC has done rightly. In a nutshell, NAFDAC has good intention to stop the sale of expired or registered drugs or whatever they call it, or drugs that is against public health. What NAFDAC is doing. But the process and manner they may go about it may not be publicly acceptable. They may not be publicly acceptable, but I'm coming to that. So let us not jump these issues. Let's just follow it simultaneously as they come. The Ogbogwu Market in Onitsha, also known as the Onitsha Drug Market, was closed by the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. On February, that was on February 9th, 2025, the closure followed a comprehensive raid aimed at eliminating unregistered, expired, banned, and counterfeit drugs, as well as illicit narcotic and controlled substances. Then NAFDAC reported seizing over 50 truckloads of such products during the operation. Over 50 truckloads. Well, using my mind to try to understand where this 50 act. But however, we are following what they said. Then NAFDAC stated that many shops and warehouses in the market lacked proper registration with the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria and did not meet minimum safety standards. The agency emphasized that previous attempts to regulate the market had been unsuccessful, necessitating decisive action to protect public health. It has become rampant these days that some drugs, when you take them, you see that it's not doing what it was meant to do. And there are questions towards that. That is the one of the worst things that will happen to human beings while you are being treated, and the treatment you are being given drugs are not working. So the fight is a good fight, but later we are going to look at the processes that they took and what was not properly done there. That closure sparked significant controversy and oppositions from traders, civil society groups, and political figures. Then some people were not left out in the fight against this closure, talking about Senator Tony Nwoye condemned the closure and the alleged imposition of fines ranging from 500,000 to 1.3 million per shop as conditions for reopening. That is the issue. Find these people this money and you now allow them to reopen to sell the expired drugs that have been locked up for almost 4 months, or you allow them, or they will pack the expired ones, come and dump at your shop, so that at your offices, so that NAFDAC will compensate them, or what? Or how is it going to, be done? Because not everybody has this expired drug. Not everybody is involved in this thing that NAFDAC is talking about. So, but when they want to close, they close everybody's shop. Problem. So, but we are coming to that. Then, having said that, in response to the situation, the International Society for Civil Liberty and the Rule of Law, Inter-Society, filed multiple petitions and issued public statements demanding the market reopening and accountability from NAFDAC. Then, after nearly 4 months, the market was reopened on May 28, 2025. A NAFDAC delegation, accompanied by security personnel, ordered all locked shops to be opened without conditions. So they came and ordered all locked shops to be opened without conditions. Well, let's proceed. As of now, approximately 95% of the shops have resumed operations, while the remaining 5% are still undergoing regulatory screening. Despite the reopening, legal actions continue. Traders seeking redress for the closure's impact. For the closure impact, the impact is that some drugs must have expired. What happens to the money they used to buy those drugs and other things that must have affected them? That closure, that's the legal one. So then NAFDAC maintains that its actions were necessary to safeguard public health and prevent the distribution of harmful pharmaceutical products. Having said this, the Ogbogwu Market did not, in a way to survive, because you know what it means. 4 months, going to almost 4 months, because it was on the 9th. So by 9th of this month now, June, it becomes exactly 4 months, or by 8th. You see, about 4 months, somebody's livelihood was, left shut down like that. It's going to affect them in various ways. If some of them that don't have patience can, do otherwise just to survive, but there's no law for that. Somebody do anything that is wrong, the law catches up with you, too. That is the way it works. So we are not done yet. We are still going into the major issues that we are here for today. Then the actions taken by NAFDAC to close the Ogbogwu Market was rooted in a legitimate and important public health concern. The circulation of fake, expired, and unregistered drugs poses a serious danger to millions of Nigerians. In this regard, their intent was appropriate and necessary. That has good intention to fight fake and illicit drugs that will safeguard the public. However, the manner and process of the closure raises some serious issues about that. Where the issue is. Nobody is saying that NAFDAC cannot fight bad drugs in the market, but the problem is coming to lock up all the shops. The problems that are coming out of it, that's where the problem lies. These are what these people are crying about. What NAFDAC did right, I'm going to say it. The crackdown on counterfeit drugs. This is essential for protecting public health and saving lives. NAFDAC job to fight counterfeit drugs, doing their legitimate job. Enforcement of drug safety regulations. It helps to sanitize one of the largest drug markets in West Africa. NAFDAC is trying to sanitize this drug market in West Africa. But let's not forget that if you are looking at this thing critically, you will see that is these drugs manufactured in this Onitsha, ones that are fake, registered or what? Or is it imported? Because if it is imported, then it will have a kind of chain effect. How did they manage to bring in this drug into Onitsha if they are imported? How did they manage to cross the borders? How did they manage to pass the whole checkpoints on the road to arrive on Onitsha? These are serious concerns. These are serious issues that we are supposed to, not neglect when it comes to this issue of fake drugs. Then we talk about the seizure of dangerous products, prevented potentially fatal outcomes from unsuspecting buyers. NAFDAC is trying to fight these things, protect the innocent buyers. So having said this, where NAFDAC may have gotten it wrong, this is where they must have, or they might have gotten it wrong. We are trying to be plain. This is not about trying to side this person or side the other person. We are looking at what is morally right and what is justifiable in this fight of protecting the public against fake drugs. Then what NAFDAC may have gotten it wrong is sudden and total market closure. Sudden and total market closure. Without adequate stakeholders' engagement, phase compliance plans lead to massive economic loss for legitimate traders. Public distrust in the agency's intention. We'll start looking at NAFDAC one kind. The stakeholders involved, are they engaged? Are they engaged in the issue? The chairman of the local government who's supposed to have known this thing earlier before this enforcement. The representative of that area in the government, they are supposed to be aware of these issues. What about the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria? Other agencies, are they aware for this closure, for this strike? Then alleged extortionate fines and the lack of legal clarity. This money that they are collecting, does it have legal backing? Is there any law that stipulates that fines 500,000 or 700,000 paid once this thing is it documented? Because any fine being meted on the public always have legal backing. So where is this own fine coming from? Does it have any legal backing? Question. Then absence of due process and communications. Traders reported not receiving formal warning, guidelines, or adequate transition support. There has been no warning according to allegedly. There's no warning, but I myself, I am looking at it that this might not be possible. That's what they are saying, that there is no warning for this strike. Then what would have been the right approach? What is supposed to be the right approach to this issue? Talking about the right approach, stakeholders engagement first. And the stakeholders engaged, NAFDAC should have engaged market leaders, pharmacy councils, local government, and community reps before taking action. Once we are dealing with public, care should be taken. Once it involves public enforcement, stakeholders should know this. People involved, probably they might have a better plan, a better way to approach this problem. That's why it's always good to engage stakeholders. Are they engaged? Are they properly engaged before this striking? Then phase cleanup plan. Implement a compliance audit with warnings, deadlines, and step-by-step enforcement. Step-by-step enforcement, warning, deadlines. Has there been any deadline given to these guys before? Has there been warning, several warnings? and step-by-step enforcement. The closure should be the last enforcement level. To be step-by-step enforcement. Then allow genuine businesses to register or certify with guidelines. The genuine ones are not supposed to be closed, but they are supposed to, if there is a way that they can certify them, fine and good. But this idea of, I don't know how they do it, that organization certifying shop one by one, one by one, one by one. Well, I don't know how it works, but to me, it ought to have been the global certification for the market. Then the internal, executive handles any other issue that's coming with it. That would have been the best way to handle the problem. Then we talk about public education and sensitization. Has there been public education on that market? Public education in terms of maybe every month, every quarter, NAFDAC can move out, go to that market, educate people. That public education is very important, reminding them always, reminding them every quarter, every month, whichever way they choose, there should be a complete public education and the general public in particular about the dangers of selling fake drugs or illicit drugs or whichever thing that they are claiming. So having said that, also it's good for NAFDAC, I don't know, but they should be doing it, sending out people from time to time, maybe quarterly, to monitor these guys, what they are doing, as a kind of step-by-step follow-up what they are doing. Then transparent legal process. If penalties are required, they must be legally backed, documented, and appealable. You see, anything that has fines, there must be a legal backing. And everything that has legal backing is almost always appealable. You can appeal against it in law court if you wish to appeal. That is the way it is. But this one, I still doubting if it has a legal backing, and allegedly, if it has a legal backing, and if it has, probably that's why they are in law courts today. See, then about 5,000 shops paying that amount is not small money, and these people, they have stayed at home for 4 months. Then they are still paying 700,000 with this kind of economic situation. This is enough to trigger some things within some people. So, but that's why I said there should have been a better way to handle this thing so that people will not be deeply affected in this situation that we are now. And forget that an Igbo man has a thick skin, he can always survive, but doesn't mean that they must be pushed to the wall always, because naturally the Igbo man is being marginalized. And this kind of a thing without some expected due process, boom, inside the market, shut down the whole market, where people are getting their livelihood for 4 months. Well, let's proceed. Then there should be ongoing monitoring instead of shutting down. The largest market in West Africa shut down. Hey, that's the big news. Drug market shut down. What about people in the hospital? What about other pharmaceuticals? Where are they getting their supplies? Is it not from there? You don't think about that. People in the hospital, if the drug market cannot supply to those pharmaceuticals, how are the people in the hospital going to survive? The thinking does not matter about that or what. See, there is a big gap. And we have to prevent such things from happening in future. As a very harsh decision and adventurous decision to take. Forget that it's happening in the southeast, and usually southeast is peaceful. But I know it may not happen somewhere else just like that. Let's continue. The talking about the conclusion of this discussion, I want to say that yes, NAFDAC has good intention. One thing we should have in our head, there is no doubt that there is no fake drugs in and around us. There is. And like I said, are they manufactured in Onitsha here? Are they imported? If they are imported, some other people are involved. Some people must have aided and abetted it. So yeah, those people should be also be considered and put in line. So it's not just coming to where you see the thing and you said shut it down. On a blanket shutting down, or blanketly. Hey, or give me they blanketedly shut the whole market down instead of picking out those guys, seeing such friendly drugs. That's the point. Then, yes, the goal of NAFDAC action was appropriate, but the execution lacked fairness. NAFDAC can still be fair and be firm in doing their enforcement. For this particular issue, it lacks fairness, transparency, and strategic foresight. Going forward, regulatory agencies must balance enforcement with due process. There is always an established due process. I said it earlier when it involves public enforcement. And especially in a country where livelihood and the legality often intersect in complex way. Where livelihood and legality often intersect in complex way. It's just that the environment, the country is not that what it used to be. So it must be taken into consideration the situation of things now while dishing out such enforcement instruction, because you are going to touch lives in a negative way. And aside touching these people's life directly, the lives of the patient in the hospitals have been affected, not only in Nigeria, in neighboring countries and other West Africa, because this is where they are getting their supplies, the pharmaceutical companies to take care of their patients, wards, and the patients sick. Well, I think I've dealt with it incisively. And like I said earlier, when I was starting, I said I almost forgot what I saw in the hospital. Sorry, when I saw in the Ogbogwu Market when I visited. So I went, I did not see the chairman, I cannot see anybody. He said he's on Tuesdays and working days, the chairman is available. But what I saw on ground was that shops were opened. According to what they said, 8 shops were opened, but there are some few shops that you see that they are not open. They are sealed, they are not opened. Probably they are part of the 5% that they said they are still under investigation. And that should be what they would have done earlier. If there are people that have issues with the regulations, they should have pounced on them and allowed those that are doing their normal business do their businesses. Because there is no way everybody, all of them, will be doing similar thing. And this one will encourage those people that are legally doing their businesses. It will encourage them to continue with their business, and those that are doing illegal ones, it will also discourage them. But giving them blanket closure will also discourage those people that are doing illegal businesses, and encouraging those people that are doing illegal. They will say, after all, the punishment is for all of us. So whether we do or do not do, it's not of our business. Once they catch us, everybody is going in for it. See the disadvantages of it. So, my dear people, the case is still in the courts. the Ogbogwu people, they are still following it up law court. So let's see what happens in the near future. Hope everything will be settled, and I hope that such thing will not repeat itself again. This is the first time I am seeing that place being locked up just like that. Nothing happens till now. Well, I said let me add my voice to it. Though, which and Abia sometimes, if my mind, if I have been able to, reason that earlier, I would have made more effort. But people are always busy these days. Putting other self, that is a serious issue that supposed to have looked into. Though somebody said it the other day that bloggers in Anambra, artists, we are not doing well, that they're supposed to talk about that issue. So, but I believe this has added voice what is happening. So, but please always remind us in case if you forget. I said if I have the if I had known earlier, you know, about talking about this thing, it's not an issue to me. Okay. So I'm still chilling until I come in. Bye for now.